2 months ago, Khiara Keating left Meadow Park in tears after 2 mistakes gifted Arsenal a late victory in the WSL. I mean, it's definitely something that it's one of those standout games that you remember because it was just one of those games that you just want the floor to eat you and you never want to, play football or goalkeep ever again. And it was just the one goal that I remember in particular. It was that ball that I think it was lofted in by Kate McCabe over the back line, and the bounce of it took it right over her head. And I can't remember who it was. Was it Blackstenius that scored? And obviously after the game, she was visibly upset. There were so many photos of, Gareth Taylor, loads of teammates sort of around her saying, it's okay. This time round, like you said, a complete turnaround. Like, it was a complete shift. And I don't think people appreciate the mentality and resilience that it takes to go from knowing that that was your last game, knowing that this is a knockout against the same side, and how much this means to not only your actual personal career, but also like your chances of getting in the England squad, which she is now in and confirmed
and
again.
Having those Arsenal fans at you the whole first half, like savage, the whole first half. And as you say, that redemption arc from that game but 2 months ago to this was incredible. 19. I mean, you're the goalkeeper. How bloody hell, how do you do that?
I think that's the thing that I absolutely massively respect about Keating is like she's a teenager and she's being put in these really highly pressurised, demanding situations. Like, she started pretty much every game for City this year, had a phenomenal spell. It's definitely been a big part of the fact that they're doing so well this season. But again, like when you're coming into these games now, a big part of the women's game where you're getting all these big crowds is a lot of like the opposition fans are now going to camp behind the goal and give you absolute shithousery. And like, I've been there, I've experienced it. I remember like the Barmy Army, they were saying, I mean, it was quite abusive. They were sort of saying, go and get yourself another chocolate bar at half time type vibes.
My God.
It was incredibly savage. And it did stick with me. Things have moved on slightly. And at least the shithousery is more goalkeeping related rather than body image. This was about 4 or 5 years ago. I'll give them some leeway, ish. But I mean, it's one of the things you're starting to see. Like, I've always experienced, like, every time you're going up and taking a goal kick, shit. Yeah, it's just, and it's hard, and you've really got to put that to the back of your mind. But, I spoke to Khiara just before Christmas, and she was sort of saying, she's been working on techniques with her goalkeeper coach to look at how you respond in those difficult situations, how you, deal with and how you train and prepare yourself for those. And, she was saying that sometimes they play, like she'll have headphones on when she walks out to do a training session that will have like, fans jeering or like big crowd noises, like to make it sound like you're in that environment. And I think that's amazing. I mean,
it's worked.
Not only is that going to prepare her for the kind of games that she has at City, but also hopefully for England life, which she, is sort of becoming quite accustomed to now.
Absolutely.
So, and it was one of those things as well, like she's got the support of all the players around her. When we spoke to, Demi Stokes in our interview a couple of weeks back, and she was sort of saying, she's one of the players that she really puts an arm around and, really sort of, mentors and kind of, she's part of the next generation, I suppose. So
yeah, a lot of pressure, but then you got to remember they're a teenager and, also needs to kind of enjoy this journey as well. And it's getting that balance right. But, just to touch on the two of the saves in particular that stand out, there was a Victoria Pelova shot. Yeah. From where I was like, it's in.
Yeah.
And Sophie, who was sitting in the press box halfway down the sideline, was also like, oh my God, that's in. They've got the equaliser. I think Arsenal fans were really almost celebrating. And Khiara Keating just appears out of nowhere to get fingertips to it in the absolute top corner of the goal. Unbelievable save. And then she had another one from Kim Little that she had to tip over the crossbar. Like, this is in
unreal.
The dying minutes of a game. You're only winning by one goal. The crowd is on top of you. Like, massive, massive pressure. And I do wonder, maybe, you tell me, like, anytime you talk to a City defender like Demi or Khiara in goal, clean sheets. They always talk about clean sheets and they put a lot on clean sheets. And I sometimes wonder, obviously every team wants a clean sheet, but I feel like this is it's as important to them as it is for the forwards to go and get a goal. Like, they talk about it all the time. And Demi said that in that season where they won, it was all about the clean sheets.
All day. I think, well, clean sheets, essentially, you're not going to lose a game if you keep a clean sheet. You're going to get a point out of it, even if it's a single point. And I think, when you look at Man City's defensive record this year, they're the absolute best. They're top of the WSL. They've only conceded 8 goals. Chelsea, league leaders, have conceded 12. So you look at kind of like the impact that Khiara has made. I mean, we've just seen that she's now been re-announced as part of the England squad. I wouldn't be surprised if she does get her debut. She
Yeah.
does pick up some game time. I mean, it's a kind of fairly low pressurized situation. I don't think Mary Earps is going to be too put out if she has a game, given her run of form, given that she's young, that she needs those minutes. You don't want to throw her into her first game in the Euros. Like, you have to build up confidence from a very early stage on an international stage. So,
And there's not a lot of friendlies out and about at the moment.
Not that many
so
opportunities.
You've got to utilise them.
Would you say now that she's kind of pipped Hannah Hampton? I mean, Hannah Hampton has been getting minutes for Chelsea now, just sort of started this side of 2020, in 2024. I reckon she would fit in probably at number 2 at the moment, Khiara.
Possibly. It's hard to know. I don't think it's something Serena would ever say. Maybe she will. But I think as well it's important to see how they fit into that England squad. And I think she'd want to see some minutes from both of them before maybe that decision was made. But I also think it's about what a game requires. So if there was a situation where Mary Earps was injured or they wanted to put in another goalkeeper, they have different attributes as well and different skill sets. And I think it would very much depend on what the game needed. But I don't think Serena Wiegman would have any issue with saying, yeah, this game calls for you, Khiara, in you go.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. I think we're going to see a debut.
Should we put a flagpole in the stand?
Yeah, go on. I think it would be fair, even if she comes on as a sub and gets half a game. I think we will see that debut being made, and I think, like you said, I think there is this kind of transition now into younger keepers and the footwork they had when I was growing up. No one even cared that your left foot existed. So like now, when you kind of
just hoof it, Chloe.
Your left foot was for balancing you,
for standing
on. Yeah, essentially. And now when you kind of look at the skill set that Hannah Hampton has, that Khiara Keating has, the distribution is key because you want your keepers to be more involved in the games and to be able to like ping those passes out, to be able to start those counter attacks. So I think that's where we're starting to see this new generation of keepers. You're learning your left foot really early doors, and it's paying off, gals. It's absolutely paying off.